Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live in. Every year when the all-star rosters are announced, we always hear about who are the biggest snubs, biggest surprises of guys who were not announced to the team. I thought about doing a video on it, but I knew that you could find the biggest snubs pretty much on every major website, so I decided to forego it. But HoopsHype has attempted to name the players who have been snubbed the most often in NBA history. So, All Star, the most snubbed players in NBA history by Frank Urbina. So, it mentions that for this exercise, we looked up the top 12 in global rating through the All Star break in each conference in all NBA seasons for years in which there were injury replacements. We expanded the list. So, what is global rating? So, global rating is the main metric HoopsHype uses to track the performance of basketball players all around the world. Created by our own Alberto De Roa, it combines players and team statistics to rank players according to their productivity on the court. Amount of games also amount of games the players missed in a certain season or competition is also factored in. So here are the players who have been snubbed the most, starting with Reggie Miller. According to this, he's been snubbed 5 times. So Reggie Miller is the least amount of All-Star games for those that made the NBA's 75th anniversary team. And he was seen as pretty much the predominant shooter of the 1990s. He was never going to make it over fellow shooting guard Michael Jordan, but probably deserved more than 5 All-Star appearances. Derek Harper never made an All-Star team, but according to global ratings, should have made it 4 straight years from 87 to 90. Derek Harper played for my Knicks late in his career, was a starting point guard for the 94 finals team. The problem was that those Mavericks teams weren't very good. See, 3 straight seasons, they only had 28, 22, and 11 wins. You're not making an all-star team when your team is that bad. Larry Nance, who had a under-the-radar career, was really an awesome player. Of course, his son currently plays for the Pelicans. This says he was snubbed 4 times. Larry Nance was a slam dunk champion, a very good scorer, also a very good shot blocker, and a solid rebounder as well. LaMarcus Aldridge, 7-time All Star. 3 snubs though. Says he was snubbed 3 straight seasons from 2009 to 2011. So LaMarcus Aldridge is one of those guys who probably has a strong case for the Hall of Fame. I recently started a series in which I look at a player who either the career just ended or it's winding down, and gonna see if they deserve to make the Hall of Fame. I started with Rajon Rondo. I thought about doing LaMarcus Aldridge. Honestly, he might be surefire. Over 20,000 career points, 7-time All-Star. Darren Williams. Of course, there was a time when some people might have thought him and Chris Paul were neck and neck for best point guard. Of course, Chris Paul's longevity far outlasted Darren Williams, but Darren Williams was on some excellent Utah Jazz teams along with Carlos Boozer and Andre Kirilenko. It says he was snubbed 3 times. Starbury, Stephon Marbury made just 2 All-Star appearances. Didn't actually have the wasn't looked upon very great before coaches, the media, probably why he made just 2 All-Star appearances, but he definitely redeemed his image playing in China later in his career. But he was a nightly 20-8 during his prime. Terry Cummings made 2 All-Star appearances, was a very good player in the late 80s, awesome scorer. We got Andre Iguodala. So I mentioned my series, should they be in the Hall of Fame? One of my listeners commented that I should do Andre Iguodala next, and he's definitely probably someone I'm gonna do. Despite just 1 All-Star appearance, he has had a lot of support to become a future Hall of Famer. Global rating says he should have made it 3 straight years from 2008 to 2010. Of course, Iguodala also has a Finals MVP on his resume. Sam Cassell. This says he should have made 3 All-Star teams that he didn't. He made his well-deserved All-Star debut in the age 34 season, making him the second oldest player to make his All-Star debut in league history, behind only Nat Clifton. So Cassell was always one of the better point guards, just not quite all-star, did make it once. Richard Jefferson. So I did a video probably about a year ago in which I looked at the 15 best players, I believe since 1990, to never be named an all-star team. RJ Richard Jefferson made that team. According to this, had 3 all-star snubs. He was a member of 2 Nets teams that reached the NBA Finals in his prime. Josh Smith, another guy who made that 15 best players list, never made an All-Star game, says he should have made it 3 straight times from 2010 to 12. So Josh Smith was a definitely cram the box score every game. His problem was he fell in love with the 3-point shot and he was not accurate from there at all. So definitely made Hawks fans roll his eyes quite often, but was very athletic. Points, rebounds, blocks, steals, he did it all. Rod Strickland somehow never made the All-Star team. Rod Strickland was a great point guard in the 90s. Mentions that in 97, 98, he averaged 17.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, 1.7 steals, and led the league in assists at 10.5. He was second team All-NBA, somehow did not make the All-Star team. Paul Pressey, 3 All-Star snubs, also made 3 All-Defensive teams, very good scorer, kind of surprising. He never made the team. Monte Ellis also made my 15 best players to never be named an All-Star team. Had many seasons in which he averaged over 20 points. I believe he had a few, 1 or 2, where he averaged at least 25. So according to HoopsHype global rating, these are the guys who have been snubbed the most often from the All-Star team. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.